It's the last day of campaign, so I'd like to explain to you about my ideas on why I am to be a politician in the first place and what kind of path Japan should take for the future. I was born in July 1993 here in Tokyo. In mid-July, when my mother's due date was close, her father, that is my grandfather, was in the middle of the election campaign for the House of Representatives. They were facing a critical situation. The day before the election, my grandfather calculated the number of votes expected, then threw his pencil and said, "I don't see how I can win." All the family members were devastated by grief. The next day, however, something unbelievable happened. The result turned out to be my grandfather's victory by a narrow margin of 400 votes. He garnered 58,000 votes. Considering that turnout was 200,000 votes, 400 vote margin was just incredible. Everyone was surprised. It was a sudden change in the situation, escaping from hell to savoring the victory. The campaign headquarters was full of joy, with everyone shouting "Bonsai" or "Hooray!" At the same time, my mother must have also been quite happy. In spite of the pregnancy, she cried "Bonsai" and jumped around. At that moment, her water broke, and the next day, she gave birth to me. It's real. After this incident, my father named me Akiyo, wishing I would become someone who can give people consolation and hope. I admired my grandfather for not wasting a minute to work for the betterment of Japan. From as far back as I can remember, I was telling people that I wanted to become a politician. Such a strange child I was. The dream to become a politician was the source of my efforts in anything I did. However, my dream came to a complete stop in my high school years. In August 2009, the last election campaign for my grandfather took place. I had experienced elections several times before, but that year, for the first time, I was old enough to understand general issues about politics and my grandfather's long-term effort. Even though there was a backlash against the party my grandfather belonged to, but I was sure his victory, since I knew how much he devoted himself to the service of the people. But he lost his seat, ending his 50-year political life and making all his past contributions irrelevant. All this came as a rude shock and awakening to me. I had been told the efforts get paid off and the rightful causes always open a path to victory. But the reality was different. Now, my grandfather is over 80 years old and is leading enriched life surrounded by his loving family and friends, enjoying hobbies and nurturing the younger generations. Looking at his jolly-looking profile makes me accept the destiny and think positively. But after this election, I stopped thinking about becoming a politician. At the same time, I felt the parliament was lacking members who were willing to fight for the citizens. There are many politicians who procrastinate decisions, lack in studying and make policies without just cause, utter statements that disrupt Japan, and become a politician by an accident without specific policies. It was a sad realization that this politician I had been dreaming of since my childhood was a career even those types of people could achieve. In addition, I was aware I was not prepared to devote my life to the politics where the efforts don't pay off in many cases. I decided to contribute to the people in a field other than politics. After entering the university, I started engaging in an educational project led by my father. I taught people how to study and how to use our brain using Active Brain Seminar. This is a short 2-day program, but despite so, it is one that allows many people to realize their own abilities and potential, and they can live their lives of their dreams. Both 10-year-old child and 80-year-old man could sit and study at the same table and experience a great change in their life. Simply incredible. But at the same time, I was aware of a big problem. That is, today's many children are losing zest for living. When asked, "What is your dream for the future?" they simply said, "Nothing special. Whatever job I can get, or stable job." I had met many children who don't have the light in their eyes. I'm afraid if those children grow up and enter the workforce without the power to overcome challenges, Japan will go to ruin. There are several reasons for increasing the number of children mentioned above. One reason is, today's Japan is enjoying abundance. Japan has seen a drop in economy for a substantial period of time. Recovery in economy is one of the top priority issues. But despite so, in today's Japan, most people can afford housing, food is in abundance, and education is taken for granted. Japan is rich in a sense. Of course, being a rich society is not something bad. However, it might be quite natural. Today's children have less vitality compared to those who survived the chaotic period during and after World War. But I believe we could have done more to help our children aim higher, making enjoy efforts, and have passion to live. Up until recently, Japan relied on an education policy called Yutori education. I think this policy had a benefit to make children focus on cultivating their talents and skills. But on the other hand, this policy may have reduced the chance to gain success through efforts. Of course, it would be ideal for us to live doing only the things we like doing. But that's impossible. As long as there is a task given to you to complete, you have to make the most of your ability. And that is how you can become a stronger person who can overcome difficult issues in the life. I would like to see younger generations to gain success with their own power. And from now on, we have to teach our children about not only Japanese history, but also underlying thoughts of our ancestors at each event. Japanese people don't have a chance to think about the specific time period and imagine what we would do if we were in their shoes. That's why when historical issues arise between Japan and another country, the people on the other side can make their points clearly, but Japanese can't. It is a sad reality that Japanese people are not able to talk our history with pride. Japan has introduced various cultures from abroad, refined them, and achieved its development. It is one of our virtues. But I find today's Japan is losing our own cultures and thoughts. Assimilating different culture and making light of our own culture is not the same at all. So now is the time to shift our focus on Japanese cultures, histories, and tales. And now is the time to conduct educational reforms to develop our children who are proud themselves and their own countries. Bringing back the pride to this country. This is the reason why I am standing here right now and why I am aiming again to get into politics. However, this is not just my problem, nor just the government's problem. Whether as parents, teachers, group leaders, every one of us has to confront this problem. If children have a solid educational background, they can find their talents and skills. They can tell their dreams, and they can make a sincere effort with many great friends and predecessors. Only when those children who can say, "My life is wonderful," grow up and start acting as a pillar of the society, would they be able to become strong opinion leaders in a true sense who can take the pride as Japanese as well as incorporate various cultures and disseminate the peace to the whole world. Dr. Inazo Nitobe, one of the prominent educators of Japan and the author of Bushido, said in an admission interview to Tokyo University, "I wish to become a bridge across the Pacific. Japan has its good aspects and the West has its own. I hope to exchange these virtues with each other and all the countries in the world, build a friendship and make developments all together. I want to serve as an intermediary for this goal." If each of us changes our minds and actions, we can build a bridge across all over the world. Please be strong enough to choose your own path with your own will. Don't get swayed by cheap comments, catchphrases, and trends. Think deeply, what kind of path Japan should take for the future. Rather than simply criticizing your government and expecting your government to provide for you, you have to take the lead and become a leader who can shape the future of this country. Japan that stands tall with pride will surely benefit not only us, not only our children, but also the world's effort to maintain peace. I believe in the future of Japan and I believe in the future of the world. Let's make our voices heard. Thanks so much. Thank you, everyone.